Strengthening social cohesion and sustainability in slum population is a project that was funded by the EU. And basically, AFCAD's role was to try to support young people with vocational skilling and also creating awareness in communities about radicalization. So we realized that the best way how we would overcome these kind of challenges was, one, to skill up. So skilling up the young people gives them the opportunity, this opportunity that they use to, start up their small enterprises, but as well also to change the lives of their families and themselves. It's a one-year program where a young person enrolls onto any of the opportunities or the trades that we run as AFCAD. And then they are accredited by the government arm, which is DIT, the Directorate of Industrial Training, which certifies them as people who have the skills or the competencies in the different trades that they are being trained in. 65% of the trainees who have been through here have started their small enterprises in the different trades.
We're acquiring a skill for 6 months. Then so I bought a machine. Then AFCAD, now you need to wire another machine, more machines. I picked the interest from my customers. They liked what I was doing, and they used to tell me, Ras, wakankubide. So in that way, nendabira dalanga chinkolera. When I used to grab people's phone, ever naberanga ku tension. You're surviving by God's grace actually. You move here or many police told you facing. Right now I can face police. So even my income is changing completely. I earn a living, nenyamba family yange, awaka wembela, then nabazade. So completely life has changed than when I really seen acquiring a skill from AFCAD.
Now remember your email has this.
I think the community is very excited about their boys because we are born of this community. We are lifting the name of Bwaise with a positive and a very lovely, interesting picture.
The European Union has been a long-standing partner of Uganda and Africa more in general. This partnership is based on shared values and a number of common interests in key areas. By supporting the country in its development efforts based on the National Development Plan 3 to tackle the challenges of poverty, vulnerability and inequality. For the previous period, 2014-2021, the European Union has focused on transport infrastructure, food security and agriculture, and governance as main sectors for its interventions.
These three priority areas received a total of 578 million euros as a grant, which was spread over 120 projects. This grant was a direct financial contribution from the European Union budget to support the government of Uganda implement its short and long-term development goals. The grant allocated to good governance priority area was aimed at supporting institutional frameworks that would strengthen political stability, democracy, human rights and rule of law. The overall objective was to improve public accountability so that all Ugandans know their rights. In Uganda, women are not only economically poorer, but are also vulnerable in terms of access to justice and protection of fundamental rights. Through this funding, initiatives dedicated to building women's agency and representation were created. One such program is the Spotlight Initiative. The Spotlight Initiative, conducted by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, enhanced a multi-sectoral approach to addressing gender-based violence and other harmful practices against children and women. According to a survey done in 2016 by the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, 26.7% of women aged 15 to 49 practice FGM in the districts of Kapchorwa, Moroto, Nakapirpirit, and Amudat. The Spotlight initiative enhanced efficiency in service delivery at sub-county level.
Here in the District Action Center, we receive cases which we call walk-in. From either they can be referrals, others are referred from sub-counties, others are referred from the communities where we have social workers. That data we have profiled, we shall enter it into the system, which is Uganda Helpline. And that system, it helps us to know how many people, how many children, how many women have we supported.
Working with other implementing partners, the Spotlight initiative established shelters where victims receive psychosocial support and other services.
This is a purpose-built facility to offer temporary accommodation and other services to survivors of gender-based violence. We do offer support, accommodation, and referrals, as well as hand-holding to survivors of gender-based violence and children who need the support.
These shelters are a safe haven for women and girls going through gender-based violence. In Amdat, Kales Primary School serves as a shelter for girls running away from early marriages and FGM.
What is so special here? We accommodate girls during school time who want to get education. And then we accommodate girls who run away because of early marriages, that is first marriage because they are young, and FGM and denied education.
Some of my friends could come to school. I could ask them that, my friends, where are you going? They could tell me that, my friend, I'm going to school. I also feel like going to school. I asked my brother, take me to school. He said that, for you, you are not supposed to go to school. You are supposed to give us cows, animals. I never wanted to go to stay at home. So I asked my friend, is the school safe that I can also come to school? My friends told me that just run to school. Some people are there to support you. Me, I'm not supposed to stay at home. I don't want to suffer the way my mother is suffering. I better go to school.
These children, now they feel at peace ever since they ran away from their homes. And when they come here, most of them don't know how to read, how to write. But when they come here, we put them in classes, of which very many of them have learned how to read, how to write, how to count.
I want to be a doctor so that I treat the sick people from the hospital. And also, as I'm there, as a doctor, I'll be encouraging the people who are at home, like the mothers, not to take their children for FGM. Because if you take your child for FGM, it will be difficult in times of giving birth.
The Spotlight initiative also empowered men to become champions against early marriages. The men have sensitized the communities about the dangers of female genital mutilation and early marriages.
This issue of gender-based violence is not good in a community, of which we came later and realized that really it is not good, because our women are part of us, of which we should not be taking them sometimes as workers or as the slaves. We should be proud of them and help them where necessary as men.
Apart from working with women and girls, the European Union is keen on working with the youth to promote Uganda's diverse heritage. This has been done by supporting Kampala Art Biennale. Given the political, economic and social situation in Africa, Kampala Art Biennale provides a platform for freedom of expression, social cohesion, and representation of cultural identity, especially for the youth in creative spaces. In 2018, the European Union supported the Cross-Cultural Foundation of Uganda with a grant aimed at supporting the preservation of historical buildings and sites in Kampala, Jinja, and Entebbe. Photographers, historians, architects, and researchers were trained on how to document the historical buildings and sites. The project culminated into the production of a book titled Beyond the Reeds and Bricks. This impressive new book bears witness to the richness of Uganda's historical buildings and sites surrounding Kampala, Jinja and Entebbe. They also created a mobile app that digitizes the content for easy access for every smartphone user. The content features at least 60 buildings in the project, representing Uganda's architectural history, covering the pre-colonial era and post-independence Uganda. Uganda is a landlocked country that depends on road, railway and waterways to foster economic development and growth. By interconnecting rural agriculture hubs to urban markets, sustainable transport infrastructure will unlock Uganda's potential to access new markets. Currently, Uganda has only 4,698 kilometers of paved roads out of 66,000 kilometers. It is against this backdrop that one of the objectives of this project was to reinforce the sustainability of the national transport system.
The European Union has been supporting regional integration broadly in Africa, but also here in East Africa. And specifically when the European Union supports transport corridors, interconnectivity, the idea is to facilitate trade between Uganda and its neighboring countries, facilitate export of Ugandan products to its neighbors, but also more broadly to the continent and beyond.
The Kampala Northern Bypass is part of the Greater Northern Corridor route that links Uganda, DR Congo, Burundi, Rwanda and South Sudan to the port of Mombasa. The 21-kilometer-long road features 4 lanes and 5 new flyovers and was co-funded by the government of Uganda and the European Union.
Oluguudo luno lulinga jambo teruna kubeerawo olwa bypass nga tuyitira mu kibuga Kampala okuva ne Busega ojja otambula otuuke enna ebweyogerere nga kiyinza okutwalira olunaku lulamba olwa jaamu. Niye bakola oluguudo luno olwa bypass awantu wandibadde otwala olunaku olulamba okutuuka enambolo ofugirewo eddakiika 27 ku 3 lwala tulituwe kati fe abagenda ebweyogerere tuvuga fekka n'abadde Busega nabo bavuga bokka kati enkulaakulana y'enguudo eyo eba nnungi balukoze mukole nnungi lawundi about bazitadde wansi tuyita waggulu abalala ne bayita wansi wojja ku luguudo luno olw'obulungi lw'oluguudo oli wano oduuka kaleerwe wano ku luguudo wano kuliko ebitaala security eyaka essaawa zino era wolaba kati abantu batandise okuleeta ebyokulya byabwe babeteeke ku luguudo batunde.
The project has been designed to improve mobility in and around Kampala. It has improved road safety and relieved congestion on the Northern Corridor route, leading to reduced travel time and vehicle operating costs. The other objective under the transport and infrastructure sector was to improve the development of an efficient multimodal transport network that creates urban access and connection to neighboring countries. The Gulu Logistics Hub is a multimodal dry port set up to reduce import and export transport barriers. The facility will reduce the logistics costs associated with transport and distribution of cargo between Uganda, Kenya, South Sudan and parts of the Democratic Republic of Congo.
The Gulu Logistics Hub was designed as a dry port, a multimodal dry port. It will be accessed by 3 modes of transport. It is connected to the Malaba-Pakwach railway link. It is also connected to Juba-Kampala Road via an access road, and it is connected to the airfield.
The logistics hub will also improve the capacity of transport infrastructure in northern Uganda, leading to quicker transport time and cost savings. It will also open up connections to markets, thereby providing opportunities for increased exports.
So cargo from Malaba all are brought in by the railway line, and they are distributed by trucks. That is import. Then for export, cargo will come by the road, they're consolidated here, and they are exported by the railway link.
Apart from road infrastructure, European Union also supported implementation of renewable energy in northern Uganda. Uganda has great potential for generating power from renewable sources such as solar, hydro, and wind. However, only about 50% of the population has access to any kind of electricity. Outside of the cities, electrification is a mere 38%. This presents a major barrier to economic development and poverty reduction. The solar mini project in Lamore district is part of the promotion of mini grids for rural electrification projects by the government of Uganda with the support of EU. This project aims to connect 25 remote villages in the district using solar-powered mini grids, thereby bridging the development gap between northern Uganda and the rest of the country and ultimately improving the social and economic conditions in the district.
Before the solar system came, we were using paraffin, and sometimes we used candles. In our village here, we used to go up to Lira or Kirgum town to just get the door from there, the steel door from there. But nowadays, life is easy. People are doing it within here. Because like they have that proud that I have power in my place. You know, when they gather together, they can make a story that, me, I have power in my place. And you, those things, it normally take place. So they are eagerly, they need power.
Currently now, since we are pairing this village with a grid with PV inverters and also battery inverters, there is a surety that you can get work done during the day or during the night. So in terms of impacts, one, people will not have to travel very long to access power to do most of their stuff that they need to do. Secondly, posho mills around here were run by diesel. And with the current scenario of high diesel consumption or high diesel prices, now we want them to introduce to them about electrical motors. And in this, they will minimize the transport to get diesel or even the higher prices, they are not so stable.
Over 15,000 people and 150 businesses are benefiting from clean, sustainable, quality, efficient and affordable solar electricity.
Life is easy now. Everyone feel like they're about the level now. They are relaxed. Some of them, they are saying they are in Kampala. Some of them, they are saying now in our new city here, Gulu city. So they feel good. They feel good, really, they feel good.
The Gaba Water Treatment Plant Phase 3 project is part of the Lake Victoria Water and Sanitation Initiative that was designed to complement the two pre-existing plants at Gaba. With an increased customer base, Kampala Water Service Area experienced exceptionally high demand, putting pressure on the Gaba 1 and 2 plants, which led to water shortages in many areas. With the European Union funding, the Gaba 3 facility, equipped with new technology, has increased both the supply of affordable drinking water in Kampala and reduced the risk of waterborne diseases.
There is a tremendous improvement in terms of efficiency, in terms of quality, and also in terms of massive production. Initially, we could make a daily production of 65 to 68 cubic meters on average per day. But with the funding and the improvement made, we can now make an average of 78 to 80 cubic meters per day.
We have been able to save on every unit that leaves the plant. For example, in Gaba 1, we have the modern, less energy consuming units. So once we save on energy, we are also saving the expenditure of our consumers in terms of acquiring a unit of water. We have a functional wastewater treatment plant. We are able to treat the wastewater from the plant and discharge it with less impact to the environment. We are able to arrest about 100 cubic meters of sludge. With this new innovation, we are able to preserve and protect the environment around the lake.
The Katosi Water Treatment Plant, which is also part of the Lake Victoria Water and Sanitation Initiative, was completed in March 2021. It is currently supplying treated water to the eastern, northern and central parts of the Greater Kampala metropolitan area. The plant produces 160,000 cubic meters per day, and with provision for future expansion to 240,000 cubic meters.
The project also came with very modern technology. You need only 8 minutes to have water go through that stage, whereas in the old technology, you needed 1 hour to produce the same volume of water. One of the other advantages with this project, it was designed as a green project. We have waste management systems that were installed on site. We have a compact wastewater treatment plant, whereby all the wastewater from the offices, from the staff houses, we treat it on site in a compact system. As we treat water, we are required to assure the customers of quality water. So we don't only send the volumes for people to consume, we must ensure we have good quality water that meets the national standards for drinking water. And this laboratory is modern enough that it can test all the parameters we need to ensure that the water we treat out of here is meeting all those standards. The project also delivered to us a SCADA control system, which is actually part of the entire automation of the plant. This plant is a fully automated plant. It runs everything that you see in the complex here, especially for the water treatment processes, is controlled from the control room, the SCADA control room. This control room helps us to do almost 90% of the operations of the plant, and it has helped us to ease our way of doing things. It's a very efficient way of operating and managing such a system which is complex.
The Lubiji Fecal Sludge and Wastewater Treatment Plant was commissioned in May 2014. It has the capacity to treat 400 cubic meters of fecal sludge and 5,000 cubic meters of wastewater per day.
Now here at Lubiji, the idea is we treat sewage, but specifically it was constructed to treat a challenging fraction of sewage which we call fecal sludge. So this is the intake point. You can see the sewage is coming in through. So the idea here is to remove the solid waste. So this whole area is an area for preliminary treatment. So along the way you'll see these channels. These channels are removing sand out of the sewage. And then finally the two waste streams are going to meet in the sedimentation tanks where I'm taking you. So the two waste streams, the truck will reverse and it will pour its contents into this sedimentation tank. And then we also have the pipe sewage that will meet. In so doing, there is a bit of dilution. And you remember the idea is to remove the solids, which is done in this structure here. And this is actually the largest sedimentation tank in the country. So from here we have the solids pumped to the drying beds where they are dried and they can be used safely as fertilizer to boost food production. And then later you have the liquids going to the waste stabilization ponds. There is bacteria that thrives on the sewage, and in so doing, as the bacteria is thriving on the sewage, it's having it treated to standards where it will environmentally be friendly to discharge it out into the environment.
According to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, 65% of Ugandans depend on agriculture for their food security and income. This sector plays a major role in the country's objectives of poverty reduction, which is also envisaged in the European Union's agenda for change. This was executed through specific programs that supported agriculture and livestock by availing inputs, improving animal health, and promoting marketing activities that would boost agribusiness at local level.
One of the lessons we have learned from our previous development cooperation, it is essential that we use our development assistance in a way to leverage private sector investments, because it's only in that sense that jobs will be created and growth will be created.
The Market Access Upgrade Program, or MARCUP in short, is a project that supports farmers to improve the quality and quantity of coffee and cocoa value chains in Uganda. This project also addresses the market access constraints to increase private sector competitiveness, especially on exports to the European countries and the East African regions.
Mimi majina wanaita Mkabona Julius. Baba ndio alianza kulima hii koko. Sasa wakati hiyo walikuwa wanapata faida na sisi wengine walikatakata hivyo. Sasa lakini si kulima namna hiyo markup kama inaingizamu kututia masomo mpya. Sasa tunaona koko iko na faida sana. Markup walitufundisha kuacha kuchanganyia koko mbaya na nzuri. Sasa na kukwenda kwa soko ndio na wale kuona wanasema koko iko vizuri. Sasa nilipata bei nzuri sana. Na niwezesha kupiga matafari na kuchukua matofali kwa shule.
We started journeying with MARCUP in March 2021, and they gave us a number of coachings in different areas. I remember the first one was in post-harvest management, things to do with the quality, right from the farm up to the drying, from the drying, storage, packing, storage. So MARCUP in general, it has really been another change agent in the way we have been handling our business.
In Mbale, the coffee associations received training in coffee production as well as quality, quantity value addition and branding.
We attended several quality trainings with ITC. We attended trainings in how to organize farmers and certify, which we did, we are certified. We also attended the trainings in packaging and branding. The reason why Mount Elgon Coffee and Honey is doing value addition, because value addition and farmers better prices, more money and happiness. MARCUP has done great. We've moved from simply packing, and I can assure you the coffee we are producing here, we are producing high quality coffee, the coffee that people don't believe that it exists on the local market.
The other objective of the agriculture sector was to cultivate sustainable commercial forestry with a focus on timber and charcoal value addition, as well as supporting biodiversity, soil protection and conservation. Uganda is currently faced with adverse climate change, which is partly attributed to tree cover loss. Current Uganda loses an average of 122,000 hectares of forest cover every year, with more than 90% of the population depending directly on firewood and charcoal for their energy needs. The Saw Log Production Grant Scheme, SPGS, was started to stimulate investment in commercial tree planting by the private sector and local communities. It was implemented in 3 phases.
The stage 1 was mainly on plantation development, and they assisted us in planting trees, in maintenance of those trees when we started these plantations. They also brought in practices, they brought in best operating practices to show the industry, how do you do the right planting, how do you do the right silviculture operations and all that. And there was also a lot of research and development during the initial stages, understanding that forestry is young in this country. And then we had the phase 2, which I think came at the right time when SPGS now was leveraging the harvesting operations. Now we've grown these trees. Now what next? Now there's need for conversion, there's need for processing those trees into products. And we benefited a lot through training, through technology transfers from other industries, mainly South Africa. And now we've had this phase 3, which we're currently enjoying. We're getting now into value addition, kilning technology. We got in wood chippers that helps us to convert some of our waste into products that we can sell and generate income.
Since the inception of this project, there has been an increase of about 81,000 hectares of Uganda's forest cover. The scheme also supported small-scale farmers to access high-quality seedlings while providing technical assistance and training to commercial tree nursery growers through an annual certification program.
Ekyandeetera obeera mu commercial farming of nursery lw'okuba nalaba guli mulimo ogukuwa emirembe okusinga obeera mu field ng'okakalukana ng'olima wano obeera free customer comes in n'otunda ebintu byo ne babitwala bafaawo bayingiramu ne batutrainingamu ebintu ebitonotono enasaro okakasibwa baba bamaze okulaba nti no oli on standard level certification etuyambyemu nti tufuna bakasitoma abamu bali n'ebweru oli akuba bukubisimu n'agamba njogera n'abagatisibe nti ye njagala kino ne kino mukinkolere nga tukikola ekitaliwo luli twaguzanga local farmers kati bwe tudda ku side y'abakyala okola kweno ku nursery eziriko maso kiyabayambyeko nti no edda luli abakazi babadde nnyo reluctant ewaka ne babesinga nnyo ku basajja ate ovuwiki basobola okola kati omukyala bwajja n'akola wano addayo ewaka n'akasente n'agamba owaaye omwana wange ajja soma kimwongeramu amaanyi. Ndi musanyufu nnyo ku kino kye tutuuseeko kati okusinziira wali emabega kuba emabega bye twakolanga twabanga abazannya naye kati ekintu kiri bulungi nnyo tusobola otambuza ewaka nga bulungi n'abakozi be tukozesa nabo basanyufu ku bintu bye bakola.
It has created over 12,000 jobs along the timber production value chain. The market-oriented and environmentally sustainable beef meat industry in Uganda, also known as MOBIP, was initiated in 2017 to address major challenges affecting the beef meat industry by enforcing best practices along the beef value chain and enhancing quality assurance through animal disease control and prevention.
We are focusing mainly on FMD, foot and mouth disease, and tick-borne diseases, especially fighting tick resistance. In the laboratory, RTC laboratory, we bring those ticks and we are tested. They are tested to see whether they are sensitive to the acaricides and which acaricides are they not sensitive to. And then we write back the reports to the farmers where we picked them from, and we tell them this tick is resistant to this acaricide or is susceptible to this acaricide. We have a problem in the country of haphazard animal movement, where animals move from place to place uncontrollably, and in the process they are spreading diseases, especially FMD. So we are piloting a technology called livestock identification and traceability system, where we will be applying an RFID ear tag on the animal, linking it to the central database management system, which will be stored in agriculture and Ministry of Agriculture. And so, if somebody has been pretending that he's moving the animals from Uganda, whereas they are coming from Isinjiro, the people who are regulating the animal movement will get them.
Women provide 80 to 90% of labor in subsistence production. However, they experience unequal access and control over important productive resources like land. The MOBIP project focused on empowering women through hands-on training. The National Livestock Resources Research Institute is one of the implementers of this project and has been working with women and the youth to improve the productivity of rangelands through enhancing pasture species and soil conservation. There has been more research conducted on new supplementary feed species to improve the nutritional value of animal feed.
Land is becoming scarce. So because of that reason, we now have to start thinking, the farmers have to now start thinking how they can utilize their small pieces of land maximally. So supplementary feeding comes in there because you put your maybe 3 cows in a shed or in a barn and take for them that hay. Now statistics have shown that the percentage of women involved in agriculture is still small. This has been a male-dominated field, but we are going to change that, and we have gotten into that space.
Another important component of MOBIP was value addition, with the keen focus on training the youth and women.
Wano nkolerawo ebintu ebiva mu mayembe g'ente n'amagumba. Nkolamu ebintu decorations, earrings, ebyomu bulago n'ebintu ebirala bingi abantu abansomesa ababisansulira babayita ba European Union nga bakwatagana ne Wuzia Uganda Small Scale Industries. Bwe nagenda okukola course nina ebintu bye nali simanyi nga toyinza kuŋŋamba nti ejjembe livaamu hearing. Era neewuunya omulundi gwe nasooka okulaba hearing emu bweti ng'evudde mu jjembe natya nengamba Katonda wange, naye kati nakimanyiira kuba nakiyiga. Tageti yange oba ekiruubirirwa kyange njagala nfune ebyuma ebiwerako nensobola okujigiriza bannange abaliko obulemu ne bakola ebintu ebyo. Kijja kunnyamba nnyo kubanga mmanyi nti bajja kukulaakulana. Njagala nkubirize Abannayuganda n'abantu Africa oba n'ensi yonna nga mbategeeza nti ejjembe oba ebitundu ebiva mu nte, ente terina kintu kitalina mugaso. Okuviira ddala ku kigere wansi okutuuka ku ddiba tewali kitalina mugaso. Wano kati amayembe n'amagumba bye tubadde tetukozesa.
The Agriculture and Food Security Funding also aimed at improving the value chain for fish farming. This has been done by empowering the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries to improve the agribusiness environment. The Aquaculture Research and Development Center in Kajansi is spearheading the promotion of environmentally sustainable commercial aquaculture in Uganda. Launched in 2020, this project has been carrying out research to increase fish production in Uganda.
For long, fish farming in this country has been carried out at a more or less subsistence or small-scale level. So this project comes in to move aquaculture from that level to another level, to focus on carrying out aquaculture as a business and also being cognizant of the issues to do with environmental health. The rehabilitation and refurbishment was the initial activity of this project.
So this hatchery was set up in 2009, and after 10 years of production, it had developed cracks. They repaired the flow, they repaired our tanks in order to boost our production. Our production had gone low to about 20,000 fingerlings from a single catfish female, that is about 1 kilo. But now our production has gone up to about 40,000 fingerlings from the same kilogram of African catfish.
This project under PESCA has an objective of replacing or substituting the fish meal that is used presently in fish feed development, substituting it with other plant-based protein sources as well as other alternative animal protein sources. So when we have identified the best performing diets, those are the ones that we recommend for upscaling by fish feed producers as well as farmers.
We are developing the fish feed using one animal protein source, which is this black soldier fly. And the maggots have been analyzed and have been found to be very high in protein. We do the full life cycle from larvae up to adult because we want to maintain the production of the larvae.
The project is emphasizing the aspect of training. We are arranging training programs for the fish farmers, and we are also arranging training programs for the extension workers. When we bring farmers here for the training, because they are coming from all over the country, from very long distances, so we have to host them here. And this is one of the hostels where trainers, farmers can put up during their stay here.
I'm learning various activities concerning fish farming, the techniques and knowledge, how to conduct pond siting, pond fertilization, pond stocking, feeding, and the rest that can be passed over to my fellow farmers from my respective villages and even in the produce organization that sent me here.
The Uganda Railway Museum was launched in March 2022 by the Cross-Cultural Foundation of Uganda in partnership with the Uganda Railways Corporation with the support of the European Union. This is the first of its kind in Uganda, and it is a tourist destination center with a unique Ugandan railway story.
This means a lot to us because all the development in the country started nearly from Jinja. We are telling the story of how far we've come, how far this country has come. So for us, that is very, very key as tour operators. And especially now for me who is based in Jinja, many times you have tour operators coming from across, from Uganda, from Kampala, from Kasese, from all sections of the country, but not limited to even the rest of the world. Now, Jinja Jinja being the adventure capital of East Africa, this is something not any tourist can miss out.
We found it was very important, as we're both looking ahead in how to develop the railway for the future, also look back at the history of railway here in Uganda by trying to give a testimony of the importance of railway as a contribution to the economy of the country, the culture of the country, the society as a whole, how the railway has affected the lives of people, of communities, but also of regions and sub-regions, and making the link between several regions and even countries.
And I think this is a very good place, especially for the students, the learners, guys who are still going to school. This will be a very good thing for them to actually come and see all these stories around here and, you know, get to touch some of the actual things that, you know, that were used back in the days.
When I see some of these images and some of the testimonies of beneficiaries, it really makes me proud. I think it's very rewarding to be able to contribute to the development efforts of the country, to translate the EU policies into concrete programs that really make a difference in the lives of people. The whole job involves a lot of consultations with all segments of the society, be it government, be it grassroots communities, be it civil society organizations, private sector. So the idea of bringing everyone around the table, working together and seeing some concrete results and impact on the ground, that's definitely very inspiring.